Good evening and welcome to the final game of the first day of the Turing Cup 2020 here in Northampton, hosted by Rebellion Roller Derby, a WFTDA recognised tournament. I'm Loud and Queer and I'm joined by the lovely Riggs. And we are super excited to bring you this last game, which sees Oxford Roller Derby face off against Leeds Roller Derby. It's been a long day, some fantastic games, and this will be no exception. Riggs, do you want to talk us through the Leeds roster?
Indeed, so Leeds have brought with them number 10, Eat My Glitter, number 111, Grief Lightning, number 1116, Acid Pain, number 13, Flamboyant Potato, number 167, Little Whippet, number 2, Holy Moly, number 2407, Right Hook Brook, number 26, Kerosene, number 282, Smiling Assassin, number 41, Polykiller, number 500, Grace Ventura, 81, Kay Hizzle, number 97, Alana Del Slay, and number 98, Quick and Blocker Glory. That's your Leeds Roller Derby.
And playing in blue, we have for Oxford, we have 0, Fox, 03, Booty Beeb, 007, Aphrodite for Destruction, 15, Bothwell, 1522, Speedy Gone Franca, 17, Freddie Quicksilver, 18, Ellis, 1972, B.A. Douglas, 2718, Liz and Let Die, 404, Wolf, 41, Silver Rays, 88, Brynhilda, the Bludgeoner, and 91, Gannon Fodder. Oxford's first game of the tournament. They are not a WFTDA or affiliated league, I should say, so they're not part of the Turing Cup tournament. So this matchup against Leeds is just for fun and for rankings. Leeds had a cracking game earlier.
They really did. I mean, they played very hard in skate round 3, and then they've come here today facing off against Barcelona. But we are underway here at the Turing Cup between Leeds and Oxford. It's Little Whippet out for Leeds.
And that's Wolf for Oxford. And I'm not biased at all. I've just seen Oxford play quite recently, and I love their jammers, but it is Little Whippet who is out for Leeds.
And Little Whippet was the highest scoring jammer from the Leeds-Barcelona game earlier. Very good stats indeed.
She's a veteran jammer as well. She's been with Leeds for, a number of years. Cool, calm, collected, knows exactly what she's doing. We've had a star pass first of the game and on Oxford's side, and that is to Freddie Quicksilver, who is now active jammer. But the jam is called with 4 on the board for Leeds and none for Oxford.
So Little Whippet just sneaking in there, making sure to clear the pack at the end of that one, putting the first points on the board, going to Leeds. But we see Holy Moly taking the line now.
And Ellis for Oxford. Ellis's legs reach the sky. She's a very, very speedy jammer. We'll have to see how she faces off against this brutal wall of Leeds blockers.
And Leeds do in fact have 4 blockers out there waiting. Oxford down to 3 on the track right now.
Oh, but Ellis with those long legs, tiptoeing through, picks up lead for Oxford. And a track cut called on an Oxford blocker. Sees them lighten the pack as Holy Moly completes the initial for Leeds.
So we're right between turns 1 and 2 right now, and Ellis just calling it off as the incoming Leeds jammer was hot on the heels then.
Be interesting to see the pace of this game. The last game that I announced just before this, which was Amsterdam versus Madrid, saw some really fast and furious jams, but also some very long, grinding jams. So far, here it's been quick and sharp, trying to get a feel for each team. Yeah, and it's a 1-point game.
Amsterdam versus Madrid felt like a builder, didn't it? Ooh. Slow and hard work in that first half, but really
Amsterdam versus Madrid felt like therapy.
Yeah, but we have got Smiling Assassin on the line for Leeds, going up against Aphrodite for Destruction.
Smiling Assassin cutting her teeth last season, really is a very strong jammer for Middlesbrough, to my recollection, the last couple of years. Has now transferred obviously over to Leeds. Really great, strong jammer, but it is Aphrodite who is out first. Smiling Assassin with the chase.
There's barely a couple of foot between these jammers as the pack speeds up, coming round now into turns 3 and 4. And the jammers are just chasing, and the sensible strategy is to call it off, but Leeds controlling the pack really well, the pack speed to deny Oxford any opportunity there.
One thing I will say about Oxford, having kind of watched them play for a number of years, is that they're a very regimented team. They've got the advantage of having very old school players on there. Like, some of the jammers have been on this team for years and years. And if you watch their bench team, if you watch their warm-up, everything they do is very strict, has a purpose. Leeds a little bit looser and quicker to adapt. They've had they've a building number of years where they've absorbed other players. So it'll be interesting to see how those different styles play off against each other.
Talking of different styles right now, you've got Wolf out there jamming for Oxford, going up against Grief Lightning, who's pushing up at the front of the pack now and picks up lead at the exit of turn 1. Wolf being held back beautifully by Leeds at the moment, but finds some room, escapes the pack. There's about half a lap between these jammers as Grief Lightning now comes in on the hunt for points. Oxford just getting themselves established at the top, just trying to avoid the offence, but Grief Lightning just shrugging off that last block and picking up the 4 points there.
So nickel and diming these jams at the moment. That puts Oxford holding at 7, and I thought some points were going to go up for Leeds on that last pass.
Just having a little look.
Just having a wee check.
Got to check these things. I want to make sure it's right, but Ellis is ready and waiting on the line for Oxford for the next jam.
Our very excellent producer Coco just informed me that it looks like they've put the points up on the wrong side of the board, so those 4 should have actually been awarded to Leeds.
Easily done at this point. At the end of the day, let's be honest, I've forgotten who I am at this point.
You're Riggs.
Thanks for reminding me.
You're in charge of the announcers for this tournament.
No, that's a terrible idea.
That's
but you have been a fabulous team so far today. I hope you've enjoyed everything you've seen at the Turing Cup here in Northampton, and we will of course be with you all day tomorrow as well, where we have
just you and me all day.
Just men in loud and clear all day.
What more could the people want?
But we do also have Team GB Juniors doing an exhibition game for us tomorrow, so tune in to see the future of roller derby. It's terrifying because they are incredibly skilled and incredibly young and incredibly fearless, and they're coming for us.
A lethal combination.
They are coming for us. But get yourselves on board and come and have a watch of that. If you can't get involved, maybe you've been playing this weekend. Maybe you've picked up some penalties. #pounds for penalties. Every penalty you get, donate £1 to Team GB Juniors and help them get to Canada for the Junior World Cup.
And of course, we couldn't get all of our fantastic players to such major events without the help of our phenomenal officials. So I'm just going to run through those very quickly for this game. Our skating officials for this game are Cluster Schmuck, Victoria Velociraptor, Temeraire, Sparks Mayfly, McFarlane, Scrim Reaper, Kilobyte, and MC. Our NSOs for this game are X-Ray Ted, Animal, Dropkick Brews, X-Ray Ted's. Oh, X-Ray Ted's on there twice. Must be very important. Crystal Vice, Jack, Sherry Bobbins, Dr. Quadson, Corky Rocks, Alpen Yeti, Hissing Hellcat, and Halo Jones.
So we've now, looks like we've resolved our scoreboard issue. So as you can see on your screen now, 8 to Leeds, 7 to Oxford, but we're... So we shall see how that continues.
Yeah, I think we've got to take those 4 points off for Oxford as well. They didn't get any points in that last jam because Wolf got up the pack.
That's very true.
But she didn't complete the scoring pass. So the jam ref, Temeraire, is just having a quick check with the scoreboard keepers. Nobody said roller derby was glamorous, folks, but we do love it.
There are clipboards out, people. The officials are on it. That's what you need to know.
Things are serious now. Oxford having a bit of a dance on the pivot line. Not that you can see it because you've got my face.
And they're only dancing to the music in their own heads.
Yeah. So. Oh, Leeds now joining in.
There's obviously some music in that start line straight that we're just not hearing over here. Maybe the Hive Skate Hub jam line. It's getting them all going.
Did you just segue into a sponsor read, Riggs?
Might have done.
Why don't you tell us more about some of our sponsors then?
Well, we've got quite a few here. So if you were to find yourself down here today, you could have gone and visited DistroHex, who do some fabulous books, patches, stickers, zines. They're on distrohex.org. Or, if you come down, you can pick up some amazing stuff. Then there, Roller Dirty Soaps are here. With all of their amazing smelling stuff. They're on Facebook and Etsy as well, so get a hold of some of them.
Can confirm that they do make you smell really, really delicious.
And let's be honest, Roller Derby, you could do with smelling better. All right? Roller Derby City are here as well. Do I need to tell anybody about Roller Derby City?
You do, Riggs, because they're a wonderful sponsor, but you need to spread
surely everybody knows how awesome Roller Derby City are by now.
Tell us again, Riggs.
But, they make all of our fabulous merch. They make a lot of our uniforms. Get hold of them if you need quality merch or kit for your teams.
And it looks like, thanks to some technical intervention by our wonderful officials and tournament oversight people, that we are all fixed up and ready to go. And we've got Ellis facing off against Lil Whippet. Full pack on track, 5 on 5. Let's do Roller Derby.
There is no room on that jam line for anybody.
Nope.
Hive, Skate Hub or not. And nobody's going anywhere, but Little Whippet now pushing up ahead. But Ellis just finding the inside line, opened up beautifully, took it, and is your lead jammer.
Quick star pass from Leeds, and that is over to Quick and Block of Glory.
That was a very stealthy star pass, but Ellis is in the pack now, just barreling through, trying to pick up points, getting the hips round. Let's see what says it. 3 points picked up by Ellis, and they shut Leeds out. So
yeah, both teams favouring this hit and quit approach, just while they feel each other out. I can't recall if Leeds and Oxford have played each other recently. I'm sure they will have played each other before because they're both very kind of long-standing teams in UK Roller Derby, and they've always been at quite a similar level rankings-wise. But I can't remember the last time they met, so that makes this all the more exciting.
Does indeed. Number 2, Holy Moly, is out on the line for Leeds, going up against 007, Aphrodite for Destruction. And again, we're giving the jammers no room off that jam line. Aphrodite into the front of the pack. Holy Moly just trying to push on through right now. Offense is being offered, but not too much effect. But Holy Moly finds some room on the outside line to collect lead for Leeds.
Aphrodite for Destruction through as well with a lovely bit of toast at work on the inside line. About half a lap given chase by Holy Moly, who blasts through a couple of Oxford blockers at the back.
Leeds blockers doing a lovely job there of keeping Oxford separated. 2 at the front, 2 at the back. They tried to come back and rejoin them, but the blockers weren't letting them, making life just that little easier for their jammer.
Bit of a jostle on the pivot line as we head into Jam 7. We've got Smiling Assassin up against Liz and Let Die.
And are we going to have a real pivot line start? Do they going to come back?
Nah.
Let's see. Oh, they're already. It's a bit of fake out, but they come back and meet them in the middle.
Smiling Assassin with a big old hit on that Oxford wall, finds a gap on the outside. Beautiful eyes there from the Leeds captain.
It's a power jam.
It's a track cut going to Liz and Let Die. That is the first jammer penalty so far, I think. Yep, our producer Coco confirming that I am indeed correct, which is a rare occurrence, and we shall celebrate it accordingly with a power jam.
Smiling Assassin pushing through, completes the pass at the end or the exit of turn 3. 4 points already grabbed, looking to maximise on this power jam, but instead freezes the Oxford jammer Liz and Let Die in the box and decides to have a power jam start.
That's cold, Riggs. That's cold.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. First power start as we head into the next jam with a Leeds pivot sitting in the box on a forearms penalty.
You could definitely feel the tentative nature of this game at the moment. Just not quite sure about which tactics they want to use and how it wants to go. We're waiting for this game to open up is what we're waiting for right now. Grief Lightning on the line. Is she the jammer to do this?
She had a phenomenal game earlier, from what I remember. I didn't see all of it, but I heard her name a whole lot from the announcers' chat. We'll have to see. Oxford seem a little discombobulated compared to how I've seen them before. And oh my goodness, Liz and Let Die re-enters the track and immediately gets called on another track cut. So double power jam for Leeds now. And maybe this will open up the scoreline even more.
As we mentioned, Oxford not played yet today, so could be interesting coming into an evening game. Not something we traditionally do in the UK, really.
I suppose, but there's you can blame all kinds of factors, because Leeds won't have fresh legs after that very, very tough game earlier. Oxford, I've seen Oxford play a couple of times recently, and like I said, they're a very smart team. They really know strategy. They can reform like nobody's business. I've seen them do backwards apex jumps to catch a blocker and to catch a jammer. Like, they are unfathomably good skaters, but Leeds just has the number a bit at the moment.
So second power jam start for Leeds, and this is it. They've had 3 leads in a row.
Three leads for Leeds.
But now comes number 4 for them with Little Whippet, who is fully taking advantage of that second jammer penalty to Liz and Let Die, who rejoins the track now.
Yeah, she didn't even break stride on that initial pass. Just gorgeous skating. Oxford in a 2-all there. Some offence being offered up by number 9. 8, I think, Quicker Block of Glory, who gets a penalty for her troubles.
I have to say, I really enjoy watching Quicker Block of Glory and Lana Del Slay block. They are fabulous.
Now, interesting, so Liz and Let Die, I saw her jam last season, and I can't remember if she was taking a break or not, or if it was one of the other Oxford Jammers. But a bit of a rocky start for Liz. She's superb twinkle toes. Normally, like, really just smart and beautiful to watch. So just needs to find her wheels a little bit, I think. 23 plays 6 in favour of Leeds with 9 minutes gone in the first half. We're on an official timeout, which gives me time to chat about KB Sports Massage, who are very kindly sponsoring the Turing Cup. They have treatment tables on site for us, lucky skaters. They have a Northampton injury clinic helping people from all ages of life with all musculoskeletal injuries, general aches and pains, sports and occupational injuries. Occupational injuries in roller derby, imagine such a thing. They are here with us on site today, and you can find them on Facebook if you're not lucky enough to be here with us live. That is KB Sports Massage.
So everybody coming back to track now. We're ready to resume, and we have number 2, Holy Moly, on the line for Leeds, going up against 404 Wolf for Oxford.
Oh, you have to howl when you say Wolf's name. It's the law. Oh, we're frozen on track. What's happening? Oh, there we go. I thought the whistle had gone, and I was like, why is nobody moving?
So pack advantage for Oxford as Leeds pivot is sat in the box at the moment.
Wolf taking a bit of a slow approach. Oh, Twinkle Toes doesn't quite manage it.
But on the inside, Holy Moly does manage to sneak lead for Leeds, and I think that's number 5, if I want to say. It is indeed. So 5 leads for Leeds, and Oxford with yet to find a way through to get that. Wolf being held behind the pivot line at the moment, but it is a power jam for Wolf after a back block was issued to Holy Moly, and Wolf takes no time at all to get out of that pack and get on with the business of being in the hunt for points.
We now have a 2-minute jam. We'll see what Oxford can do with this. They're going to go to Quick and Block Glory, or they're going to try to. Quick and Block Glory is like, no, thank you. I would like to go beer with my wall, please. Really nice work there from Leeds.
Absolutely. Oxford now throwing the offence forward, trying to support Wolf, but Leeds doing a really good job of shaking that off. It looks like there's no organisation in that pack at all, but it is being beautifully orchestrated. And that is Flamboyant Potato in charge of the drawback, and we go all the way back to the exit of turn 1 there.
And in the meantime, Holy Moly, Power Jam expired, back on track, follows Quick and Block of Glory's earlier path, just through an open line on the inside of the apex, completes that pass for 4.
Quick and Block of Glory picking up another penalty and back in the box, so no pivot available still for Leeds, and everybody's fallen over.
We'll have to see if that was pretty big impact, but
and yes,
it is a penalty. It's another back block for Holy Moly. So a double power jam for Oxford. Don't forget they are not Leeds, so they cannot call. And now Wolf has picked up a penalty. Oh my days and stars.
Eat My Glitter there, responsible for that great hit out that may have led to the penalty. So we're just going to switch everybody around a second.
I can't see what the penalty was that was signalled, but it doesn't really matter. Jam comes to an end naturally. I would be very surprised if there's not a timeout very soon, because both teams just running into real difficulties there.
So Leeds starting to pull away from Oxford a little bit. 10 to Oxford, plays 28 to Leeds. You've got 18 minutes and 50 left on the clock. So it should be quite interesting. Smiling Assassin is out on the line for Leeds. Oxford will be down 1 blocker in the pack.
And they are significantly down a jammer as well.
They are. No, I tell lies. They're not down in the pack. It's just a jammer they're missing. Just that one integral piece. Smiling Assassin, though, makes quick work of that and picks up lead again.
Okay, she does come off track, but she comes back on legally and goes around completing the initial. Wolf re-entering play with star in hands.
Gavin Fodder in the box right now for Oxford.
Smiling Assassin just blasting through it. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, you know, she used to jam for Middlesbrough, who are a really, really high-level team. You know, have played high-level tournaments consistently, being one of the top teams in the UK. So the experience she's brought there and now brings to the track as captain is undeniable. Wolf has dropped the jammer cover. Her pivot picks it back up, gives it to her. And just loses sight of Smiling Assassin there.
Just shoulder barging through comes Smiling Assassin, making short work of that pack. But Wolf out, puts the helmet cover back on. But Smiling Assassin grabs another handful of points before calling that jam.
Yeah, huge. Biggest jam so far. 12 points in the pocket there for Smiling Assassin, putting Leeds at 40, Oxford holding it 10.
So 30-point game now. And we're looking for Oxford to find a tactic, find a response to this Leeds. I don't know what the word is. Consistency?
Well, Leeds really killed the power jam that Oxford had, and I think that if there was a time for Oxford to go, let's play our game, that was it. Leeds have got, I don't know what it is. I've seen Oxford play at a better quality of this, and I don't know if it's just the fact that they're coming up against Leeds who have had a game to settle in. I don't know, Riggs. I have no solution for this.
So Leeds, as I said, made an appearance at Skater Round 3. They've played against the likes of Namur, who are here this weekend. They faced off against Nantes as well. They've been facing off against the Royal Army. So some fairly reasonable level teams across Europe. And maybe that experience, that tournament experience, is starting to pay off for them. Coming in here a later start and just able to bounce back from that first game.
We'll just have to see. I mean, like, the great thing about today is that all of the games have been super close. And in a couple of cases, the half-time switch has been really significant. Like, earlier on, Madrid came out after half-time, having really, really struggled initially against, I think it was Amsterdam in the first half, and just absolutely blazed the track in the second half. And, you know, a half-time chat can do wonders, or just figuring out not just what the other team are doing, but how you can fit your own game around it. Oxford have always been very good at really solid formations, filling gaps. They're very gutsy as well. There's zero fear. They'll all take a star pass quite happily. Big hitters. But when you've got Leeds, who have kind of got a similar skill set, then it's hard for them to go, well, what do we do to match this, I guess. But that's how teams learn.
That is exactly it. So right now we have an official review going on. Oxford have called it. So we have folks in the middle who will let us know exactly what's going on with that, just in case you were wondering why we were taking our time.
Oh, it's because we wanted to talk, Greg, 'cause we're in charge.
We just fancy a little chat with you.
Oh, we've got some stats. Coco's handing me some paper. I'm going to pretend I know what to do with this. Okay, I can see that Leeds have had lead jam status 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Yes, 8 times out of 11 jams. Thanks, Coco. Quick maths. And Oxford have had lead 3 times. They have used a star pass once. That was in the first jam. This is interesting, actually. In the last 2 jams, Leeds have put up the first multi-point passes of the game. So in jam 10, they put up a 4-point pass and then 1 point. And then in that last jam, Smiley Assassin, 3 4-point passes. Oxford yet to put up more than 4 points in a jam.
And I think that suggests that Leeds are starting to feel comfortable that their blockers have got the Oxford jammer numbers. They can actually just sit on them, hold them. That trust in your blockers to allow you to carry on, pick up some more points. Really, really important.
It might be that, what I love about roller derby, it being a relatively new sport still, it still goes through evolutions and through changes. And I like how it filters down through teams and through kind of different levels of gameplay. Because, a few years ago, it was all about cue balls. Then it became about tripod walls with one offense. Now it's becoming about zonal defense. So maybe it's a question of, which teams are using these different strategies. Because Oxford have used the tripod really consistently well.
So Oxford were looking for a forearm call there, and the not call has stood. And Oxford have got themselves lead, and we're going straight into some defensive jamming there by Ellis. But Grief Lightning are able to avoid and evade that brilliantly, and is now winning the foot race. So all happening in the pack, and of course Oxford smartly do call that one.
Yeah, quite surprised that Ellis chose to go for that hit. I mean, she's a really fast jammer. She might have been able to outrun Lightning. But a nil-all jam, which, neutral jam, we can take that for now.
So we've got 1 each in the box, so it'll be 3 on 3, which means you need to get your tripods out, folks.
That was Oxford's first lead jam in 7 jams.
Yay, Oxford.
Aphrodite of Destruction and Little Whippet.
And there we go, immediately into our tripod formations.
Aphrodite.
Oh.
So strong. Dance, dance, dance.
And that is Quick and Blocker Glory picking up another penalty. That's at least 3 I've seen right now.
So Aphrodite for destruction with a much needed lead jam status. A quick star pass to Lana Del Slay of the Leeds team. Aphrodite makes it through, hits quits for 4, I believe. Just waiting to get the confirmation of those points.
Yep, there we go. Tamara with the fingers in the air says 4 points for Oxford. So 14 to Oxford plays, 40 for Leeds, and we are down to the last half of the first half.
Otherwise known as the second quarter.
That one.
Maths, Riggs.
Honestly.
So when you've got to write an essay and you've got to make the word count. The last half of the second half was occurring.
I feel this is a personal attack on my essays, but in the meantime, Holy Moly is out there looking for space, finding it on the inside. Oh, but it is Wolf who absolutely sneaks up the inside to steal lead out from underneath.
Must be a full moon
Holy
because
Moly
she is out in force. Holy Moly, only a quarter of a track behind. Slide, and calls the jam.
Oxford look like they picked up a blocker in the back there.
Ooh, 2 points going up for the team in blue. Oxford managing to switch the momentum up a bit. Maybe that's what will be the game changer for them. But Leeds can probably adjust pretty well. Like, they're going to have to pull something bigger out of their pocket if they want to make up this differential.
So just having a quick nosy over at that, and it looks like Leeds have been held scoreless now for 3 jams. So Oxford just maybe finding their feet a little bit in this game.
But oh wait, just as we say that, I've just noticed that Wolf is in the penalty box.
Oh.
Wolf.
Bad Wolf.
It's a sad howl. Oh. And that means Smiling Assassin's going to have the power jam start. Oof.
That's a gift, isn't it?
I just walk off track. If I was knocked to block, I'd be like, no, thank you. Please, no.
Oh, but Wolf has been released from the box. So Oxford breathe a sigh of relief, and Ellis comes to join Smiling Assassin on that Hive Skate Hub jam line.
Triumphant howl. And we're at the pivot line again. I told you some of these players were old school. They're just like, we're going to stand here.
The pivot line power pose. It's one of my favourites. So Leeds with 1 in the box. So Oxford with the pack advantage as we open up this next jam.
It's quite tense in here, isn't it, Riggs?
It does feel it.
Feel the tension through the stream. Here we go. Oh, Smiling Assassin taking a knee. Ellis trying the in, locked down, trying the out, hit out, back on, duking round. Oh, we're tangled up. Oh, there she goes. Legs for days. She is lead for Oxford. Smiling Assassin still working their way through. Now, if Oxford can hold Smiling Assassin in a lateral 3 war, this might be huge because Ellis is quite happy to skip her old legs over those Leeds blockers.
Booty Beeb going in, trying to offer some offense for Ellis. Oh, a little hit right in there. But it does result in a penalty for Kay Hizzle, and Ellis is able to continue on 4 points in the pocket.
Another star pass now to Lana Del Slay, but Ellis not risking that. Smart move there by Oxford because Leeds have 2 blockers in the box. Here's the shift that Oxford were looking for.
So they've now closed that gap to 20 points. Was sitting at 30 at 1 point there, but they have managed to hold Leeds scoreless for at least like the last 4 or 5 jams now. Creeping up on them, 4 jams they've held them scoreless for.
A bit of space saving going on here for Oxford. Interesting strategy because they've formed a flat wall. Now dropping into a tripod for Grief Lightning.
Playing that 3D and 1 offense up front, and it works beautifully. Aphrodite for destruction goes through, claims lead for Oxford.
She's got such lovely, careful footwork, that jammer. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Out of play called at the front, so Lightning come in on round. But a back block going to Aphrodite for destruction. No, this is not what Oxford need. Power jam to Leeds.
Yeah, Grief Lightning looking for room on the exit of turn 3. Some great footwork, turning and twizzling all the way through for full 4 points there.
Oxford doing some gap fill-in there, but now set up at the front. Primed for Leeds offense to come through and punch some holes. which they do very nicely indeed.
Great feat from Grief Lightning there, just making sure to pick up the skate, stepping over everybody who had a trailing leg in the way there, keeping that lovely clean exit from the pack. In now, looking for a third scoring pass. If we land this, I think this might be one of our highest scoring jams of the game so far.
We've had a 12-pointer from Smiling Assassin, but this is going to be a 2-minute jam because Aphrodite lost lead.
And
so Grief with 8 on the board already.
2 Oxford blockers in the box as well. So
there's the ghost points that will go up.
Oh, but it's a lovely 2-wall at the back, right at the top of the pack now
from Oxford. That's 1-5-2-2 Speedy Gone Franca holding the space there, but now forced to let Grief Lightning go and dropping back to play some offense.
Still 23 seconds on the jam clock, so Grief Lightning still with much more time to pick up some more points. Just barrels through the pack there, nice and easy.
She thought she was lead. She forgot that she wasn't. God love her.
Let it end, but 16 points unanswered right now on the board for Leeds. Really stretching away.
And Leeds holding Aphrodite quite comfortably at the back there. Massive jam for Oxford. That's 18 points for... Sorry, a massive jam for Leeds. Sorry, losing my mind. 18 points for Leeds. Biggest jam of the game so far. 4 points there for Oxford. Well-deserved points, I might add, but blimey.
Leeds could feel them coming up behind them and went, no, bit close.
Yeah,
bit close.
I mean, that was such a shame about that back block penalty for Aphrodite because, you know, she really could have used that opportunity. Yeah. Here goes Wolf once more for Oxford, and that's Little Whippet. Wolf and Whippet.
Both in a sad place right now, locked down, looking for any kind of gap. The energy in the pack starts to break up, and Wolf is the recipient of it and of lead jammer status, but Little Whippet right behind. All the action in the pack when we're jostling for position right now as Wolf comes back in, hits the pack, and hits Lana Del Slay very hard, tapping the hips. Let's see how that shakes out. 2 points for everybody.
2 apiece, yeah. That call off in the pack was really tough to see.
So it's a 34-point game right now in favour of Leeds. Oxford on 26, Leeds on 60. There are just 10 minutes of the half to go.
And Oxford have had lead for 6 of these jams, and we're heading into jam 18. So I'm going to do maths on this one. So it's 2/3 spread. So Leeds have had 2/3 of the lead jam status.
Just nodding at you.
Yeah, I think that's correct. But,
just
you know, if it is wrong, don't correct me. I like
Text
to feel
in.
smart.
Oh, wait, you can't. 2 for number 2, Holy Moly, out there for Leeds, up against Ellis, and everybody's on the inside line. And, well, not getting very far. Holy Moly switches to the outside, but it is a race at the front, and it is Oxford and Ellis who come up with lead.
Oh, and something just came off Ellis' skate. I don't think it's anything significant, but it's a tiny white thing on the floor somewhere. No, everyone's fine.
So Ellis in, hitting the pack, getting the hips round. Big call from the floor.
This is the thing, right? When Oxford are getting lead, look, say it's 2-2 again. The Leeds jammers are getting out the pack so quickly and not slowing an inch on those chase downs that when the call-offs happen, it's just fractions of a second too late. That's a neutral jam. Oh, wait, no. Leeds actually outscored them on that jam, 3-2. So
that clean call-off is really needed right now.
Yeah, but Leeds aren't letting Oxford do it. And a smart derby. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love this game.
Aphrodite for Destruction out for Oxford, going up against Smiling Assassin. And once again, there's no room on that line. It is tight.
Tight. Nice. Lana Del Slay trapping Aphrodite for Destruction's legs there. But there's some interesting techniques going on. Look, so Oxford are basically standing behind Assassin so that she can't really move. And it's just about Aphrodite doing this low, slow grind.
And there's 1 blocker apiece in the box, and they've both been released at the same time and incoming now. And as they come out of the box, everything starts to open up. And Aphrodite for Destruction goes round the outside to pick up lead.
Oh, the most beautiful, patient work there from Aphrodite. But look, Smiling, look, like again, Leeds out of the pack, quarter of a track at most.
And look at their blockers, getting to the front, pulling out that speed.
They've got their number, absolutely. Oxford don't have time to goat. Does get the call off clean there.
Yes.
See if there are points, and 1 point going up for Oxford. Blimey, Riggs. This
More
is a
importantly,
lot.
they held Leeds scoreless in that jam.
And I'm sure Coco in a minute will tell us how many times they've held Leeds scoreless. In a minute, Coco. We'll give you time. Don't worry, love.
So we have a team
5
timeout.
scoreless jams for Leeds out of 18.
That's not bad at all. So it's team time out called by Oxford right now. So, hope you've been enjoying the lovely roller derby we've had on display here for you at the Turing Cup. Being hosted by Rebellion Roller Girls, their first tournament here, and it has been a fantastic day so far. Said we've got a fabulous merch village over there. All the teams have brought their own lovely stuff. We've got the Turing Cup merch, lovely sleeveless top there. It's really very, very pretty. So there's so many reasons for you to get yourselves down here tomorrow. Okay, you really need to do that.
So Coco was just telling me a little bit about kind of what she's gleaning from the stats from this game. So Oxford have actually been quite consistent. Like, if I look at the score sheet, they've consistently scored in more jams than the last 9 jams or so. But when they've had a power jam, they've not been able to capitalise on it. Where Leeds have had a power jam, they've absolutely
making hay,
run the gauntlet of it. Like, yeah, making hay while the sun doth shine under the roof of this sports hall. Under these lovely lights.
So
here goes Wolf. Oh,
and Grief Lightning out there for Leeds. And again, these blockers do not want to give them any room off the jam line, but the fast and furious footwork of these jammers is forcing it all the way up to the pivot line right now. Grief Lightning pushing hard. Wolf at the back of the pack, doing really well at keeping that Leeds tripod a little unstable.
Grief with 2 to be at the front. Some lovely one-on-one blocking going there, but she is going to push them out of play in a minute. If nothing else, there she goes. She's lead for Leeds after 30 seconds.
Bothwell just came out of the penalty box and literally took Wolf through that pack. Absolutely brilliant offensive play there by Bothwell.
That's the first lead for Leeds in 9 jams.
Oh.
And it's quick work there. So Oxford also forcing the quick call off, but 3 points go up for Leeds, 1 for Oxford. Really nickel and diming, as the Americans would say. What would we say? Pennies and tuppences? Pennies and tuppencing. We don't have tuppence anymore.
This is adding up slowly but surely in favour of Leeds, who are now 36 points ahead of Oxford. So 30 plays 66, which is the only reason I can do that maths for you, with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock.
The thing is, normally I'd say that's not a really big differential to make up, but with the way this game's been going, it seems insurmountable, doesn't it?
It does. It feels like
Oxford would have to double their score in order to get within clawing distance of Leeds right now.
So Little Whip is out there looking and using Quick and Block of Glory as a shopping trolley, and dodged that hit beautifully. But no, it's a multiplayer block being called on Little Whippet, so it's a power jam for Oxford. And as we were saying, can they capitalise now? This is what Oxford need to do. Leeds setting themselves up to hold this down, and there comes the recycle.
Look at Leeds. They're kind of positioning themselves so that Oxford aren't able to come back and do this coherent offence, because look, there's a gap that's filled there. They've shaved about 15 seconds off this power jam, 20 because Grief is Little Whippet, is now standing.
Ellis taken out at the end of turn 3 and recycled back between turns 2 and 3.
Unbelievable power kill here by Leeds. Like, they've barely moved 15 metres. And Whippet back on track. Power jam ended.
What power jam?
What power jam, exactly.
That's all I got to say.
Cracking job from Leeds. But Ellis does make it through. And it's going to be a scoreless jam. So, I just keep making this sound because it's all a bit much, isn't it, Riggs?
And that is what this weekend has been all about. Really tightly matched teams who are just trying to find a way through this. I know the score doesn't seem to reflect this right now, but it is quite tightly matched between these two. And a shift in momentum, we'll see a very different game.
And what I love about this weekend as well is that every single team here will go home, watch this footage religiously, take notes, and come back with the aim of filling those gaps in their skill set as a team.
Aphrodite, though, filling her own skill set right there, getting lead.
I just can't. It's like she's a literal goddess.
It was
flew.
Absolutely a beautifully gained lead jammer status, but Holy Moly is out of the pack, half a lap behind. Leeds once again setting themselves up at the front in the tripod. Aphrodite meets it, sneaks a point, and does cleanly call it to hold Leeds out.
Yeah, it's just...
But if Oxford are going to come out on 1 point at a time...
I mean, they could do it. Like, as long as they hold Leeds scoreless, if they do like 1 point for the next 35 jams,
like the roller derby version of Chinese water torture, 1 point at a time.
Oh my god! It's Smiling Assassin and Wolf.
A penalty box is
terrified
empty.
of them both. Oh, Wolf just barreling her way past, flips her hips round, picks up lead. Can they trap Smiling Assassin in the pack? Because they were able to do that last time, Oxford were. It was quite successful.
And already Wolf is back round, now on a scoring pass. And Smiling Assassin's being held right now on the rear straight away, but does exit the pack. But Wolf is in. But Leeds locking down, and Wolf is looking for help, looking for any kind of support, looking over her shoulder and realising that Smiling Assassin is coming and calls it.
She had picked up all 4 though, so safe play there. But yeah, if Oxford can do that, if Oxford can get their, they're kind of... Wolf was able to get lead pretty much by herself there, and then trust her blockers to hold the opposing jammer for just a bit longer so that they can do a slightly more comfortable call-off.
Definitely.
I don't know. Maybe I'm grasping at straws here a little bit. I'd love to see this go down to like a couple of jams, a few points difference, because that's the kind of roller derby I love. And don't get me wrong, this is still a corking great.
So Liz and Let Die out jamming for Oxford. Grief Lightning is out there for Leeds. And yet again, it is that slow, brutal start for these jammers. But it is Grief Lightning pushing up front. Oxford and Leeds have got a blocker apiece in the box. Leeds' blocker's just going. Oxford's is standing. And it is Grief Lightning.
And the thing is, look at that positioning there. The Oxford pivot was right back to give Liz some offense, but was in the perfect position to take a start pass. And I just would like to see that, because Leeds used start passes really effectively
Very
earlier.
smart use.
And I think Oxford need to perhaps be a bit sharper on there's the cover coming off now. There's the pivot in the wall.
But does still seem to be using the pivot as a shopping trolley, get me through this crowd. But it is a power jam in favour. No, it's not, because both jammers are in the box right now. And very brief sit-downs.
Oh, not brief sit-downs. Liz has been given an insubordination as well. So that's going to be not a full minute. She's going to sit the amount of time that her opposition sat, and then sit the full 30 seconds for her insubordination penalty. So another 2-minute jam,
But
which Leeds love.
Grief comes through with 4 points, and we'll be looking to capitalise right now. Oh, that was just sexy. No other way of saying it, people.
Smooth as a knife through butter.
Oh.
There we go. I did it. I did the thing. Terrible, terrible metaphor.
We are here, like or as.
Yeah, Grief just loving that outside line. 12 points on the jam.
Oh, having a little skate.
And Oxford just don't have an answer right now.
They don't, and the scoreboard does reflect that as we head into the dying seconds of this first half. Oxford are going to have to look within themselves to find an answer to this Leeds team. It's 35 to Oxford, 78 to Leeds. There's 10 seconds on the period clock right now. So now Oxford are sending out Aphrodite for Destruction, who I think, not necessarily in terms of points, but for me in terms of her getting out the pack, she's probably had the most success of her jammer rotation, or it seems like it. Oh no, we're going straight into half time. We heard a 5-second shout, and then we realised we were teasing it. So actually, we are gonna have half time.
Aphrodite looks not impressed. She's like, "Excuse me, I was about to jam."
I'm sure you guys need a break, just like we do.
Well,
so
they'll be able to fast forward this break, because this isn't live.
Oh yes, you're all in the future, aren't you? Hello to the future.
So
from the present.
So in the future, get yourself a cuppa, fast forward about 14 and a half minutes, and then you'll be back for the second half.
See you soon.
What? Happy birthday to you.
Welcome back to the Turing Cup. We are here in Northampton. I am Riggs. I am still joined by Loud and Queer, and our lovely producer Coco is busy on the figures for us.
Always loud and queer, always.
Always. What happened in that first half?
Lots of things. Well, Leeds have had a really cracking start. They have got Oxford's number. They have really capitalised on power jams. Oxford have not really been able to take advantage of power jams when they've had them. Interestingly, Oxford had 14 lead statuses the first half, and Leeds only had 10, but the score is still 78-35 in Leeds' favour, so that tells you something. Grief Lightning had the biggest jam of the game with, I believe, 18 points. Yep, 18 points converted by Coco. And in the meantime, we are in the second half. Little Whippet flipping her hips past for 4 points after grabbing lead status for Leeds.
It was fantastic work from Little Whippet there. Got lead very quickly, got back round, grabbed the points, but Wolf took an enormous hit just near the pivot line and somehow stayed upright and in bounds. That was great physicality from Wolf there to ride out that hit.
To be fair, we've not seen a lot of jammers hitting the floor, like hitting the deck really hard this game. Like, they're all really gorgeously stable. They just... Like, the edges are being really shut down as well, so there's not a lot of like risk taking on those edges. Oh, just as I say that though, Ellis with a sprint down the outside line picks up lead for Oxford.
A rare moment where Leeds left the barn door wide open, but holy moly, picking up a back block. So Ellis, who is already lead jammer and in the hunt for points, has a power jam and is putting the burners on, because Oxford are quite behind Leeds at this point and will want to do everything they can to close that gap.
I think that's Holy Moly's third back block penalty as well, so something for the Leeds bench to watch there. But look, Oxford not choosing to do much on this power jam, letting Ellis have a go at the wall, but actually trying to go. It does work out.
Yeah,
maybe the solution to the power jams is to do nothing. I'm for that as a blocker. Like, I'll have a breather. I'll stand right here. Love, you go ahead. You're the jammer. I'm joking. I would never do that.
You just wouldn't, would you? You just couldn't. So, Holy Moly is standing in the box as Aphrodite for Destruction comes to the jam line for Oxford.
And I think this is the first power start for Oxford. I think Leeds had a couple. Smiling Assassin definitely had one in the first half. Aphrodite is a really strong jammer, dancing on that outside line. Leeds trying to hold her there, and they've got her trapped a little bit. Holy Moly back in play and in a tripod formation at the back.
Excellent footwork there from Aphrodite just to come through that Leeds pack. But not far behind is Holy Moly. A track cut, though, being called on Gannon Fodder from Oxford, so they lose a blocker to the box. Aphrodite is in, dancing around, gets the call. Is it clean enough? I think it might have been.
Yeah, yes. Holy Moly was hitting the back of the pack, but didn't have any Oxford blockers to go past. So 2 points going up for the team in blue.
45 to Oxford plays, 82 to Leeds right now, and you have still got 27 odd minutes left of this game.
Familiar matchup now, Wolf and Smiling Assassin, both just really strong, consistent, gutsy jammers, and just so really nice people. Just so much fun to watch. Not that we care about whether they're nice people or not when they're blasting you on track, but it's good to be all rounded, isn't it?
So Oxford do have the pack advantage. They have all 4 blockers out on the track, and they are going to need them right now. But Smiling Assassin says, doesn't matter to me. Picks up lead jammer status regardless.
Smiling Assassin always really reminds me of Jack Attack from London, Rollers Over from London.
Yes.
Brawling. Just so similar in terms of build and style, and really just consistent gutsiness.
You know when somebody tells you that somebody is like somebody and you will now never see anything else when you look at them?
Have we ever seen them in the same room?
This is very true. Please investigate. Answers on a postcard.
In the meantime, we have Smiling Assassin being held by Oxford at the back. Wolf with the star stash shrugs off a big old hit with a counter block, but no time to capitalise on that initial pass to turn it into a scoring one.
4 unanswered points picked up by Leeds in that jam.
We're fighting for the jam line in this half. It was a pivot line fight in the first half, and now we've decided to remember that it's 2020. Well, we don't do pivot line starts anymore.
We've seen a lot of this lining up and taking up as much space as possible on the jam line today.
That wasn't shade, by the way, about the pivot line
it
start.
not?
Everyone loves a pivot line start. It's just it gives the jammer a run up and I get scared. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to give them more room to run at me.
Grief didn't have a run up there, but didn't need it either, and picked up lead. The exit of turn 1. Back in now, already on a scoring pass, and Ellis has just left the pack.
And I thought it was a blocker penalty. Sorry, jammer penalties. Thought that was happening.
Don't
2
panic, Captain
blockers
Mannering.
for Leeds in the box now. 4 points going up for Leeds.
Oh, and Grief Lightning has taken a seat in the penalty
So I
box.
was right.
No, it happened right at the end. I think that one call was for the pivot, but then there was another call for Grief Lightning.
Yeah, I thought it was a forearm, but I'm not a ref.
I think you're psychic.
Aphrodite is taking another power jam for Oxford. She's got 2 to beat. Leeds look pretty confident, but they're so fast. I mean, if you can't get a power jam from that, where can you? And she makes smart work of it.
Oxford blockers doing a great job of just swallowing up the 2 that were out there. Oh, Aphrodite comes in, bounces off that first hit, takes it lovely, goes round the outside.
This may be one of Oxford's first multi-point passes if she can get this next pass in.
Plenty of time on the clock, though all of the Leeds lot are standing.
Yeah, so the Leeds jammer is going to come on track with 2 blockers in force.
Oh, high block is being called on Aphrodite for destruction, so the power jam is now in Leeds' favour. So obviously, Aphrodite would have had points in the pocket before she went to the box. Grief Lightning, nothing so far. Completes the initial. Now back in on a scoring pass. Oh, up the inside, straight into the Oxford blockers. And shimmies.
Oxford just not able to hold a wall there. And bless Grief Lightning, tries to call the jam. She's like, I'm used to being lead, all right? And then she's like, oh, no, I'm not. I had a penalty. Boomy.
So lots of jostling in the pack for position right now. Speeding away from Grief Lightning.
It's a palindrome score at this brief moment, 94 to 49.
Beautiful.
I enjoy that. Thank you. I know it's got absolutely no relevance to the game, but I just like it.
Lots of relevance. We like a palindrome. We love a palindrome. We love it even more when Aphrodite for Destruction gets through the pack and completes that second scoring pass, putting 8 points on the board for Oxford. 4 on there for Leeds, but Grief is coming through with 1 left to beat now. Oh, great one-on-one block in there from the Oxford pivot. Getting the back up, but out of play called, and Grief continues on with 4 as Aphrodite comes through and dodges a very hard hip shot.
That's now 12 points on the jam for Oxford. That's their biggest jam of the game so far. It's got to be. Certainly feels like it.
But of course, Leeds able to put up 8 points in the process as well. So really only four gained there for Oxford.
Yeah, but let's give credit where credit's due. I mean, imagine if that power jam hadn't happened as well. You know, it could have been 20. Oh, what could have been? What if? If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
So we have got Wolf on the line, plus Little Whippet is there too. You can't see them in shot right now because Wolf is standing back. Oh, Little Whippet has decided to come up. Teasing that Hive Skate Hub jam line we are.
And all the blockers are just like, we're going to get in formation.
It's
I bet that Leeds blocker there is like, smell my belly. Smell my belly. The one on the left. Just look at her. Look at
Grace
that face.
Ventura is just like, go on. We're all friends here.
It's like, I'm just going to put my head here. I'm going to have a small nap. This is nice.
It's lovely to see our blockers getting to know each other better. That's what we like to see about this sport.
Got some serious like mannequin challenge freezing positions going on the line.
Oh no!
The
tension. No, turn it around. Well, that is an interesting jam line right there. Everybody just trying to free their legs up a little bit.
Definition of a jostle, but Oxford do have the space to roll back, but Little Whippet just staying in. Oh, no, I lied. She's got a track cut. Nice draw there from Oxford. Oh, it's a forearm. I'm lying. I'm so excited. Everything's happening. It's a power jam for Oxford.
Wolf is out there.
Oxford letting her be, then setting up the sweep.
Ineffective right now. Multiplayer being called. That's on a Leeds blocker. Oh, 2 going.
Yeah, so now Wolf can go to work. But look at this formation from Leeds.
Oh, Quicken Block of Glory, of course, is in there.
Oh, but there's a penalty being called
And
there.
it is Quicken Block of Glory picked up the direction penalty, I believe.
So Leeds having a bit of a struggle right now with penalties. You know, maybe that's what Oxford will need to answer this differential. Wolf barely touches a player for 4 points.
Yeah, able to dodge Grace Ventura really well then.
Whippet going to work now that she's back in play. Penalty box gradually emptying out.
Oh, but Leeds take 2 out and 1 back in.
Yeah, a bit of a revolving door. Be surprised if Leeds doesn't call a timeout fairly soonish, just to settle this down, but you never know.
Wolf in on a 3rd scoring pass now, looking to challenge Aphrodite for that largest scoring jam.
Oh, but she's trapped in this wall of doom. Pivot coming in to offer some movement. Whippet the same. Pushes the wall up to keep the pack together.
Oh, and this has ground to a halt, and everybody will be so relieved to hear those final whistles of that jam. 11 points picked up by Oxford in that jam, keeping Leeds scoreless. It's 68-98. That differential's back down to 30. This is exactly what Oxford wanted to do. There is 20 minutes left on the clock. Let's see what happens. Ellis is on the line going up against Holy Moly.
And Coco is telling me that Oxford have had 3 penalties.
So Ellis is working the outside line. Oh, dropped by Flamboyant Potato.
Sorry, Coco's just explaining the jammer rotations Oxford for me. So one of Oxford players picked up kind of 3 penalties over her couple of jams. That was Liz or Let Die. So that's perhaps why we've not seen her on the second half. Some tactical lineup managing going on there. We're all going backwards. It's 2013 again.
So Ellis up at the front of the pack, but is having no joy with those Leeds blockers. Flamboyant Potato at the back of that pack, now dropping to bridge. As we see Oxford doing a great job of holding Holy Moly. And it is Ellis who emerges from that ruckus with lead jammer status.
She never looks, Ellis, like she's breaking a sweat even, like she's just so calm. Star pass now on Leeds side to Ellis. First time for the star for Ellis, I think.
Ellis says, I will bag my
Ellis.
points.
Ellis and Ellis.
All the
Was that
Ellis.
it? Was that a thing? It was Ellis and Glitter. I was just looking at the wrong name on the screen. And I was like, what a coincidence that there would be 2 jammers with the same name.
Everybody's called Ellis. So your scores right now, 72 to Oxford, 98 to Leeds, 18 minutes and 23 seconds left on the clock. 1 in the box for Oxford, so Leeds will have the pack advantage as Aphrodite for Destruction goes to work against Smiling Assassin.
Assassin and Aphrodite. Smiling Destruction.
And that pack is coming back, and it's coming back at them, looking to suck up every inch of space if these jammers dare to disengage. And this is the second time Aphrodite has found herself in this situation.
And second time for Smiling Assassin as well. This formation was very much set up. Oh, that footwork from Smiling Assassin. Glorious. But Aphrodite is out and given chase. Quarter of a track behind.
That inside line advantage going to Smiling Assassin and helping keep that distance between.
And Oxford, it's in the penalty trouble now. There were 2 going in the box, so that's going to be... But she doesn't pick up all 4 points. Smiling Assassin picks up 3.
But that does mean Leeds have broken the century mark now on 101 points to Oxford 72.
Tasty.
So, Grief Lightning taking the line now for Leeds, going up against Wolf again for Oxford.
Oh. I'm going to howl every time. So, Wolf flies into the Leeds wall, pops back up after taking a knee. Oh, fakes out the Duke. Yes, come through. And
defensive jamming, distracted by the bench a little there.
Yeah,
and calls it.
Second time Oxford have done that this game, where they try and take on the jammer to shave off the speed. Leeds are too good for that.
It just doesn't.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
Doesn't seem like the smart move. If it doesn't work once, maybe don't try it again.
I mean, to be fair, it was 2 different jammers who tried it, and to be fair, it would probably work all well in another scenario, but not against Leeds, who are veterans, and we'll just go, nah, mate.
No.
Jammer on Jammer is so 4 years ago. In that precise accent. I can't do a northern accent, and I'm not going to try.
So Little Whippet versus Ellis. Ellis, one on the outside, one on the inside. It was Leeds who came up with that, but there's nothing between these two right now. And in fact...
Speedy Gonzalez, 0 point. Nil
Just
point.
Quick, fast, furious,
Having
but no
Eurovision
points.
flashbacks. Yeah, that was lovely. One Jammer taking it in, one taking the out, and just, yeah, that's just like how do they? I can't even do that on feet. Like if you gave me a 5 foot wide lane and trainers and told me to run down it and just do a little jump, I'd be like, nah, I can't. Jammers are like, yeah, I'll do that on skates and I'll do it on a tightrope. It's fine.
So two Jammers who think they can do that is Aphrodite for Destruction and Holy Moly, who are out and doing battle with a full complement of blockers on track right now. Oxford able to take Holy Moly back as Aphrodite escapes to the front of the pack with lead for Oxford.
But again, Oxford just not covering those lines when the Jammer redoes the approach. So Holy Moly, not much space to make up.
The big arms come in from Aphrodite.
My heart rate, honestly, it's going
2.
proper high when that happens because I don't know if the call-offs are clean enough.
So
race to the jam line.
We're down to 27-point difference between these teams right now, which is as close as it's been since very, very early on when it was a 20-point differential, and then Leeds just exploded away. And slowly, catchy, come Oxford.
It's Wolf jamming.
Oh, Smiling Assassin
Smiling
out there
Assassin.
too. And again, the penalty box is empty, so they have to deal with everybody on track, and that is making life hard work right now for both Wolf and Smiling Assassin. These blockers start to lock it down. We're going with the tripods. It's War of the Worlds here, people. Get your tripods out, and in comes the offense.
Yeah, like there's... Oh, there we go. Yeah, a Smiling Assassin finding a gap. Oxford just allowing a little bit of roll that made her get that momentum.
Or multiplayer block being called on Wolf, and it is a power jam for Smiling Assassin, who's just completed her first scoring pass. Yeah.
And Smiling Assassin on a power jam is not what Oxford need at the best of times. It's certainly what they need, not what they need now. She can rack up them points.
So Oxford will be looking to lock this down, but the offense is coming in from Leeds, who do still know how to capitalise on a power jam. Whistles
Track
are going.
called on the Oxford pivot.
So pivot and jammer keeping each other company, and Leeds say we would like that as a power jam start.
If you please, very good.
Thank you kindly.
Grief Lightning is going to take that power start for Leeds. First power start for Leeds we've seen in a while, seems like, and Leeds are going to take the pivot line.
Give old Grief a little bit of a run up there. So 74 to Oxford, plays 109 to Leeds. You've got 13 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. And we are off to the races. Here comes Grief Lightning. Around the outside, looking for the cutback through. Just keeps dancing on those toe stops. Pack parts. And through goes Grief for lead.
Yeah, Wolf now back on track with start in hand. Woo! Slices through those Oxford blockers like they are paper. Oxford blockers, Leeds blockers. The blockers she's blocking, jamming against, them ones.
Grief gets through, grabs the points and calls the jam.
So Leeds starting to get a bit of that momentum back, pulling away with these 4-point jams. And the score is 113 to 74 in favour of Leeds. You know, it's still a nice close game. Like, I know that Leeds have got a pretty clear win, but Riggs, we've announced games where it's gone to like 200 or 300 points.
All it'll take is a moment or two of penalty trouble. You know, a little cue in that box, little power jam here or there, and the door will open for Oxford. Little Whippet is looking to close that as possible, much as possible, but that was a huge hit on Ellis there. Everybody recovers, gets back on track, but we are one apiece. That's the way to answer a hit like that.
Yeah, that's the way to recover it. It's going to be like, do you know what? Now that you've done that, I'm going to get Leeds, and you're going to regret what you did to me and my family.
The sweetest revenge is lead jammer status, let's be honest.
Sweetest revenge is winning.
where all the action is up in the entrance of turn 1 right now. Little Whippet unable to complete that initial pass in and scoring points right now is Ellis. Oh, track cut.
Riggs, what did you do?
Commentator's curse.
So it is now a 2 minute jam. 2 minutos de minuit.
So unfortunately, it looks like Oxford are having the penalty trouble they were hoping Leeds might fall themselves into. But Leeds doing a great job now of just keeping this ticking over.
Do you know what Leeds do so well on these power jam opportunities is that they immediately switch to go an Oxford player, like instantaneously. And then Oxford's wall roll up and they don't clog the gaps. Oh, Little Whippet is just like, do you know what? I'm going to skip backwards because I'm cool.
Beautiful.
But yeah, the Oxford aren't plugging these gaps. They kind of give the jammers space to come hit them. And when you're only a 2 wall, that's not what you want to do.
So Ellis has gone through, picked up 4 points, but at the same time, Little Whippet completed a 3rd scoring pass. It's 12-4 in this jam right now. Ellis is back in, looking to close it down, but Little Whippet is already back round, and Leeds have done a great job of containing Ellis this time. As I say that, Ellis escapes, but look how close behind Little Whippet is. Just keeping that distance, doubling the score. Leeds are. Oh, I like the little arms from Little Whippet as well. The little arms, like, I'm coming for you.
She's just a seriously solid skater. And
Aptly
it
named.
doesn't matter if she's gone round 20 times or twice. She still skates the same speed and the same consistency, and that's so hard to do.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Consistency is such a key quality of jammers. You know, if you know where you're at with the jammers, it makes life a lot easier.
We are in a timeout called by Oxford, I believe. So, Riggs, do you want to chat through any more of our amazing sponsors?
I just want to mention a few more to you because they have been so very kind to be here supporting the Turing Cup hosted by Rebellion Roller Derby. So please go and check out Hive Skate Hub. They're here today, right now, selling their wares. Well, they might not be here right now. I think they might have gone home. But come down tomorrow morning and find out exactly what they've got on there. They provide a range of roller skating products, and they specialise in roller derby. And they are located in Manchester City Centre. Of course, they're on Facebook, but they are here with us. Distro Hex are fabulous. They're a workers' cooperative set up in November 2018 for the main purpose of creating and distributing propaganda in order to amplify the voices of the marginalised, the less heard and the othered. So, bringing you badges, books, patches, stickers, zines. Find them at distrohex.org. And I tell you what, they have got some cracking stuff. You guys love a pin, you love a patch, you love a badge. Get yourselves over to Distro Hex. Don't forget roller dirty soaps, because they make you smell good.
How could we?
You know?
We are heading into Jam 16 after the... Oh, we're in official timeout after that team timeout. But looks like taking the line will be Holy Moly for Leeds and Liz and Let Die for Oxford. This is Liz's first time back on track this half.
I think we should get bonus points for not bursting into that Bond song every
Liz and Let Die.
I mean, we just lost us all our bonus points there.
Oh. Things are happening.
Things are afoot.
Oh, no. Things are not happening. Sparks just made me think they were because he spoke to the jammer.
Outrageous. But everybody's back in position now.
5 on 5.
Normal.
Let's play roller derby.
Normal service is being resumed. Holy Moly versus Liz and Let Die. Holy Moly, your lead jammer.
Oh, and a track cut going to Liz and Let Die is such a shame.
One of those games, I think, for Liz and Let Die.
Yeah, you know when you get that penalty that just bugs you the whole time? Like, for me, it's directionals. For Holy Moly, it's clearly nothing because she's just going, I'm going to keep jamming and not get a penalty.
Do another lap, thank you.
I mean, actually, that's a lie because she's had 3 back blocks, but we'll come to that later.
Technicalities.
She's doing a fab job now with no back blocks so far in this jam.
So, Liz and Let Die standing in the box right now.
And Leeds throwing some disruptive offense in there, but they want the call off so that they can get to the... Look at the Leeds.
Look at them rushing into the line now. I love the urgency. Do you know what? All day long, all we've seen is urgency to get to the line. I haven't seen that enough in roller derby lately, and I am absolutely loving that from our teams today. I'm
going to go to Leeds afterwards, and I'll be like, guys, you played a really great game, but you know the one thing you didn't do? I don't think you hustled hard enough to jam line. You really need to work on that.
Hustle.
Then I'll just walk away before they hurt me with their
They'll
strong
chase
strong
you
legs.
down. Grief Lightning versus Aphrodite for Destruction. Nobody is in the penalty box. Would you, Adam,
Don't
believe
say
it?
it, Riggs. Don't say it.
I
Oxford's
have
wall
to.
being broken apart and by Grave Lightning. And Aphrodite on a track cut. Why, Sparks? Why must you call these penalties that are probably accurate?
You could see that from Aphrodite. Like, why me? Why me? But Grief comes through, picks up another 4 points there.
She's had a storming day, hasn't she?
Honestly, I've been really impressed with Leeds today.
It's really lovely to see Leeds because, you know, they had a merger a couple of years ago. You know, they're big team in the north, but you know, people move around in Derby and they've managed to keep a really, really strong program despite the merger, despite loads of people leaving and changing. And it's just really cool that we get this showcase for amazing European roller derby. Like,
Hashtag
phenomenal.
Euro Derby.
Hashtag Euro Derby.
Oh.
I mean, don't get me wrong, love the American teams, love, but
We got our own thing.
Euro Derby all the way. Smiling Assassin on a power start. Hits the deck. Big old characteristic grin as she pops back up. And she's just going to weave her way through those blockers. And weave she does to lead jammer status.
First jam for... Oh, no, it's not a jam. It's just been goated. Or is it a jam?
Ooh, that was a
Is
big
it Freddie
old
Quicksilver?
hit.
No, it is Aphrodite for destruction.
And it's a forearm. Yeah, I think the whole audience felt that. Oof. So a power jam now for Aphrodite for destruction, and it will be a 2-minute jam. Aphrodite trying to run that line, doesn't quite find the space.
It's very rare that Leeds leave too much open on the edges.
Leeds so strong in their one-on-one skills as well. Lovely little toe stop work there from Aphrodite.
Oh, but perseverance pays off, and the initial lap has been completed by Aphrodite.
Oh, I love watching her skate.
So all the action
Gives
up
me
at the exit at
goosebumps.
turn 2. We're now heading into the faraway straightaway, and Aphrodite coming down the side, dancing on the toe stops. But dealing with right hook Brooke is not as easy as it seems.
Smiling Assassin following her down. Don't do
Oh,
it. Don't
everybody
do it.
goes down.
Oh, everyone. Oh.
I'll have to be a bit careful there.
It's so risky when you do it as a jammer because if you mess up, there's nowhere to hide. There's no pack to hide behind.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like it.
It does get, almost as nice. Well, for those of you who like other sports, when a defender crosses the ball in front of the goal, it's exactly the same sort of moment. You're just like, please, God, no, don't do that.
Did you really just reference a ball sport
I did.
when talking about roller derby? Riggs?
Because some of us watch more than one
Riggs,
sport.
hush your mouth.
I know, it's outrageous.
Wash it out with a roller derby dirty soap.
And I'm only talking about the round ones right now because as a Welsh person, shush, everybody. Just shush.
Well, we deviated quite a lot there, Riggs, but,
I'm allowed to.
luckily the good people who are watching this footage can just mute us and watch the roller derby. But I do encourage you to rewind that jam and do that very thing. I will not blame you at all. I'd mute me too.
I mean, fair shout.
Riggs and I really like the sound of each other's voices, but we've never actually polled this with a live audience, so we're probably just kidding ourselves.
As long as we're having a lovely time,
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's
you're
all
having a lovely time. You know who's having a lovely time? Wolf's having a lovely time.
Ooh.
Little Whippet's having a lovely time. And all the blockers are where they're supposed to be. So, it's all good times.
What's happening? Things are going on. Wolf is lead. Leeds were trying to call that as a track cut. They were like, excuse me, but we trust the refs. And the refs say that Wolf is lead.
Little Whippet is having a time of things for the first time in the game and has been recycled twice. And now there's a lovely 2-wall, now a 3-wall, just doing this fantastic job of containing Little Whippet, which, as you will have seen, ain't easy. Oh, but Wolf picking up those skates, getting on through. All 4 points.
Yeah, you're right. This is the first time I've seen Little Whippet stuck in the pack.
Oxford have just done a number, and there comes the star pass. Excellent work, and that is Lana Del Slay.
Oxford very happy with that. 8 points there.
So it takes their scores. 96 for Oxford, 151 for Leeds, and there are less than 4 minutes to go of the entire first day here at the Turing Cup.
Oh, and they're going to lengthen that with a timeout. Because why not?
I mean, just everybody take a moment. Just take a calm
Just
down.
breathe. I mean, while we're taking a calm down, Riggs, like who are the standout players of this game to you on either team? Like, because it's really easy to get caught up in gameplay and strategy, and that's grand. But we've all got our favourites. Let's be honest.
We have. It's been very interesting for me. I really would struggle to choose a Leeds jammer. Little Whippet, Holy Moly, Grief Lightning. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'll be looking at Coco right now, our producer, and just saying, who's got the points?
Grief's got the points.
Grief
by a long shot. But
I mean, the three of them have been on form. Real consistency from them, and I would genuinely struggle.
Assassin, don't forget.
Oh God, how did I forget Smiling Assassin?
She will find you, Riggs.
Oh, man, I'm scared now. Blockers. I mean, I'm always a fan of Lana Del Slay. I'm always a fan of Quick and Blocker Glory. But also on Oxford, I mean, Bothwell has been quiet.
Phenomenal.
Quiet, but like we might not have mentioned them very often, but they've been there. They've been effective in my humble opinion.
I think I've played in a scrim with her, and honestly, her legs are so long. I'm really glad I was on the same team as her because her legs are so long that she can cover 3/4 of the track just standing up. It's really dead useful. No, she's a veteran of Oxford and just
wearing the pivot right now.
Smart player.
Ellis versus Holy Moly. And we are off. One on the inside, one on the outside. Holy Moly on the outside. Gets lead.
And a track cut going to Ellis. Oxford not having much luck this half with these jammer penalties, are they?
Really not. Just some days it just doesn't go your way, does it? No breaks going to Oxford at the moment. Holy Moly.
6 jammer penalties for Oxford this half, Coco tells me.
That's tough times, isn't it?
It's not good.
Holy Moly completes the first scoring pack, coming in on a second one, and Leeds are all just having a nice little conga line at the back there.
Yeah, just
chilling out.
Just go. Yeah, Oxford dropping back to bridge to keep the pack, but Holy Moly does it. Oh, it's a track cut for Holy Moly.
And if Kilobyte says it is true.
Oh, you listen to Kilobyte.
We have a quality officials crew here with us this weekend, by the way.
The best. Yeah, you listen to Kilobyte. You don't be naughty around her. So Ellis now back on track. It's going to be a 2-minute jam, and that will take us almost to the end of the period, which is very exciting. Initial pass completed by Ellis. Let's see if Oxford do anything with this. Holy Moly is already standing in the box for Leeds.
And we are now finally moving out of the exit of turn 2 into the far straightaway. Pushing up front, Ellis trying to deal with that trouble. Finds some room on the outside. Is forced out. That was number 10, Eat My Glitter.
Eat My Glitter. I'm just going to say it's a good name. I just wanted to say it.
My other favourite name, and also a really effective blocker I've enjoyed today, Flamboyant Potato.
Yes, my kind of like soul sister, I feel. The noblest of vegetables.
Look at Oxford locking down right now on Holy Moly, though. Look at it. It's a beautiful thing to see.
There we go, Oxford. That's what you do. That's what you do really well. You shut it down. Here comes Leeds racing for that line again.
Come on, Leeds. Come on now.
Faster.
Here you come. Good skaters. There we go.
Yeah, who is it? It's Grace Ventura is like, this is my line.
But they look like they're having fun, like they want to be there. They're like, get me on track. Let's do this.
You don't come to Northampton not to have fun, Riggs.
That is exactly why the entire world. It's the Rose of the Shires, did you know? The Rose of the Shires. Anyway, next up, once everybody's had a little chat, because I feel like we've got an official review going on, and we do.
Spicy.
Roller Polar Bear should be in amongst it, I believe, finding out what is going on for us. He's in there.
And we are only 1 minute 35 seconds on the period clock, so potentially the last jam, depending on. I mean, if I were Leeds and I got lead here, I would run it and then call it once the period clock was run down, because frankly, guys, it's 10 to 8 at night on a Saturday, and we all really want to go to bed.
How are we not in the pub already, to be honest with you?
I don't want to be at the pub. I want to go to bed. I'm shattered.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Riggs, I'm not I'm not a party announcer. I'm not battered sausage.
But let's be honest, we still have a whole nother day.
We
5 more games for you. What's coming up tomorrow? Let me tell you. First thing tomorrow morning, we've got Rebellion versus Namur. Then we've got I believe, Strength Factor Challenge game. Very interesting one between Central City Roller Derby and Barcelona.
Do you want to explain what strength factor means, Riggs? Because some of us just nod and go, yeah, strength factor. But we don't.
Thanks for the easy questions.
That's why
I'll be honest
with
with you,
mate.
my maths is not brilliant. I don't know how they actually work out the formulas, but essentially you have to pay, I believe it's 2 or 3 other teams already established in the WFTDA rankings. Your results from those will calculate what your strength factor as a team is and will allow you to be placed within the rankings.
Makes total legit
sense. Does
that
make sense?
It does, and it's similar actually, come to think of it, to what Dos por Cuatro, the Argentinian team, did when they were first establishing themselves. They played people, they had no idea where they were. So they played some teams who were like in the top 10 in the WFTDA and some who were like 200 or 300 to establish themselves.
CCR, I think, are numbered around 53 at the moment in the WFTDA. So will be a really big moment for Barcelona. So that's how they'll set themselves up in the rankings. But right now, back in action, Liz and Let Die for Oxford, Grief Lightning for Leeds.
There was an official review called by, we don't know who it was called by Oxford. They were asking for a forearms on the Leeds jam, but no call stands, so Oxford do not retain their review for this half, which is, you might as well use it. We're very, very close to the end of period 2. So Grief Lightning is having a grand old time with Leeds status there.
And as we were saying, if you were Leeds, which I think they are going to do right now, you just carry on. 55 seconds on the period clock. And Grief Lightning has been untroubled most of this game, so we'll just carry on.
And a star pass going for the first time this game to B.A. Douglas of Oxford.
8 points picked up by Leeds so far in this jam.
Unfortunately, Douglas not really in a position right now to make much movement. She is behind a fearsome foursome of Leeds blockers. Grief, 12 points on the jam.
Sometimes
and running the period clock down.
Sometimes just taking the star as a random act of kindness. Do you know what I mean? Just give your jammer a break.
Nice work there from Douglas, though. She does make it out of the pack. Grief looks at her bench. They go, no, mate, you've got 5 seconds.
And we are into the final 3 seconds of today, because Leeds are surely going to call it right here. And they're saying, no, keep running it. 21 seconds left on the jam. You've got 21 seconds to finish this
Imagine
jam.
if she got a penalty now. Just imagine. Oh, but she doesn't. She does a beautiful spin move. Picks up 4. That's going to be the biggest jam of the game.
I think we know where my vote is going for best jammer, personally.
I mean, she's just...
and that is how you announce, people. You just make noises when jammers do pretty things. What a game.
What a jam to finish off for Grief Lightning. That's going to be 4 points for Oxford in the last jam, but a mega 24 points for Grief Lightning.
24 points. That's one of the biggest jams we've seen today.
That is the biggest jam we've seen today, Riggs. Factual fact.
Factual fact. Biggest jam of the day. Your scores right now, unofficially, of course, we're waiting for that rolling final whistle, but 102 to Oxford, 183 to Leeds.
Good for Oxford breaking the century.
Oh, brilliant work.
Damn good stuff, I say. What?
Day 1, Turing Cup 2020, done.
Yeah?
Done that, mate.
I thought you said they won. And I was like, wait, what? How does that
even
Very
work?
tired, Riggs, okay? That is the final score. There's the rolling whistle. It has been a phenomenal first day at the Turing Cup. And we are going to love you and leave you until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Of course, this is not a live stream. So by the time you watch this, it's probably going to be 4 in the afternoon. You're in your jammies with a cuppa. Good for you, chaps, okay? But from us, I've been Loud and Queer.
Enjoy that cup of tea. I've been Riggs, and we will see you tomorrow.
Good night.